Welcome to this tutorial where we're going to do more searching. In particular, we're going to look at right-click searching. So if you open Logos Bible software and you still have it opening to the home page, it will look like this. Click home again. You should get a blank screen or however you left it. And we're going to open our preferred Bible. In my case, it's the ESV. And we're going to demonstrate right-click searching. So for this, I'm going to increase the program scaling to 150%, just so that you can see in a little more detail the size and what we're doing. So we're going to scroll our mouse over this particular text, and notice that if I put my cursor over the word Lord here, notice what's at the bottom of the screen. It's the word kurios, which is the Greek word that stands behind the English word Lord. Let's just navigate to 13:52 in Matthew. So I just typed 13.52 because we're already in Matthew. It's going to take us to Matthew chapter 13, verse 52. Hit enter. And we're going to go to the word trained. Notice at the bottom of the screen, it's popped up with mathetuo, which is a word you have learned in Greek as a spiritual discipline in the textbook Scribe Trained for the Kingdom of Heaven. And so Logos Bible software, as you mouse over these words, is telling you the Greek words that stand behind these English words. And if you do a right-click search, you can therefore do original language searches from an English text. And so if I right-click on trained, this menu pops up. So this is the right-click menu. And so it's best to see this as divided in half. We make some selections on this side of the screen, and it changes what's on this side of the screen. So if we want to search for the word trained, then all of a sudden our selection is trained. And if we were to do a Bible search here, it would search for the English word trained. So that's not a Greek search at all. So we'll close that search. If we right-click again, and we selected reference, now it's going to search the reference in some format. Or if we clicked on mathetutheis, that's the manuscript form of this word, which is not what we want to search for. I mean, we could. We simply select Bible now. This is the only place, in other words, where that particular form of the Greek word mathetes, mathetutheis, showed up. We want to search for the Lemma form. So now I'll just close this so that it's not cluttering up the background. Right-click, trained, and we go down to mathetuo, which is the Lemma form, that is the dictionary form of this word. So this search will find every form of the Greek word mathetuo in the ESV. So I have mathetuo here, and this is the search we're going to perform over and over again. It's the one I perform the most. And so you select this Lemma form, and you know you're on the Lemma when it shows Lemma on the right hand side of the screen, and then you can go ahead and perform searches. So you can do this two ways. You can do a morphological search by just clicking on the Greek word mathetuo over here, and it performs a search. So if we shrink this down again, you can see what this says here. In the ESV, all passages, return the results by verse. What's it searching for? It's not searching for the English word trained. It's searching for the Greek lemma, mathetuo. It's a lemma search. See right here. For the word mathetuo, there was 4 hits for that across all of the New Testament, because the New Testament is the only part of the Bible that is translated from the Greek text in the ESV. And there's 4 hits: Matthew 13:52, 27, 28, and Acts chapter 14. So let's increase the size here so you can see this properly. So once again, that will close this. Right click, select Lemma, so it says Lemma here. You can click on Mathe 2.0 or you can click on Bible. It's the same result. Lemma, G stands for Greek. There's the word. There are the results. And so that's the basics of a right-click search from an English translation which ends up searching the Greek text. So this is quite a powerful search result, search resource. One of the other things you can do, if you would like the software to return the results in 2 translations at once, you could ask it to do that. So we're just going to take this search pane here, and we're actually going to just put the 2 of these together. So I'm going to drag this over here, and then I'm going to move my cursor over till I have the double arrows, and I'm going to drag that all the way over here. So now we have the whole screen, and we're back at our search. So it's searching for Mathe 2.0 in the ESV in all passages. Here's the results. I would like to see them in a different translation. Well, you could simply change the translation over here, or you can use this icon over here. So if you hover over it, it says multiple books display. If you click on it, it will put it a different translation up beside it. Now it's picking the CSB because I've changed that before. If you hit this drop down menu, and if you just untick that and you search down here, well, I want the ASV. If you click the ASV, then click off the screen again, it'll put your search results in the ASV as well. So now by searching for, right-clicking on the word trained in the ESV, doing a right-click search on the lemma, the results have been that it's given you the results both in the ESV and in the ASV, because not only is the ESV, but the ASV is also tagged in such a way in Logos Bible software that you can do original language searches. So the text is tagged. So you could also display this in Greek as well. So if we go down here and we have the SBL, this is the Greek New Testament, we could select that. Notice it's going to display them both now. So now we have the ASV, the ESV, and the Greek New Testament. And so we see here that we actually do have a lemma search. We'll notice that in Matthew 13:52, it's look at that closely, Mathe to Thes. The next result is Mathe to Tuthe. So it's not searching for the manuscript form, it's searching for the dictionary form, for the lemma form. We can change this now and say I don't want the ASV, I just want the Greek text and the ESV. So that's what this icon is for. If we just want to go back to the ESV, you click it off and you click it on again. So that's the basics of a right-click search from an English translation. Now, if we'll separate this into 2 different panes again. If we repeat the search, say we want to search for scribe now, so we'll do a right-click search on grammatus. That's lemma. So you left-click to select the part over here. We don't want to do, the manuscript form. We want to do the lemma form, and then we're going to click on grammatus here. It's going to search for that as well. Now notice that it simply opened another search window, and so we've got one search result for trained, we got one search result for scribes or grammatus. It's actually doing the search on the Greek words. So we could search for another one. We could do a right-click search on kingdom. We'll see that it's the word basileia. It's a lemma form. We can do that. So we've got 3 searches now. Simultaneously, it's highlighting them. We could use this arrow down and it'll do our search results and keep searching in Matthew's Gospel and beyond for where all these words appear. What if we want to limit our search simply to Matthew's Gospel? So we'll close these 2. We're back to Matthew 2.0. We're just going to search within Matthew's Gospel. So you simply select that and then type in Matthew. We did this before when we were doing English searches. And so now the results are only in Matthew's Gospel. So Matthew 2:0, the lemma of Matthew 2:0, it tells us is there are 3 results in 3 verses. So sometimes you may have a word show up twice in the one verse. That's why it breaks down the results like that. So there's 3 results in 3 verses in the Gospel of Matthew. So this search is for Matthew. We've got it limited to Matthew. Well, let's do another search. We're going to search for this word heaven, which over here we'll see is the word uranos. And we'll do a lemma search for that as well. But notice what happened. Now it's searching for all passages. This is for Matthew. This is for all passages. Well, we'll just switch this and we'll type in Matthew again. And we'll get this one to search for Matthew as well. And so you can do it that way if you choose. If you would like the results to repeatedly give you hits for a restricted search parameter, that is, you want them all to be searching in Matthew, here is one of the ways you can do that. So we have the search window open to Matthew, restricted to Matthew 2:0, restricted to Matthew. If we want all our search results to show up in this one pane, instead of opening a new pane every time, we go to this kebab menu at the top and we say send searches here. It puts this little target up at the top here. See that? If I take it off, the little target is gone. If I put it on, send searches here, that means every search will be directed to this pane. It'll overwrite whatever's in here. So now the parameters are set to Matthew, for Matthew 2:0, and we've searched. Now let's search for Basileia, which is what the ESV has translated as kingdom. Let's look for Basileia. Let's change this parameters again. Sometimes you have to do that more than once, I think. So it's searching for in the parameters of Matthew. Now if we search for heaven, uranos. Yes, so now that I've changed the search parameters, once I have selected this to send searches here, then it will stay there and it'll just keep returning hits for Matthew. And if you want to look at your previous searches, so we did uranos, what else did we do? The previous searches are found with this little drop down icon here. If you hover around, it says search history. If you drop it down, you can pick another one, Matthew 2:0. That's one we did previously, and it was another search within Matthew. Now, if you want multiple windows to open up for each search, and you want them restrained so they all return hits for within the Gospel of Matthew, you have to do a bit of a workaround. So here's the workaround. So we're searched for Matthew 2:0 in the ESV, in the Gospel of Matthew. And so let's say we've done that search and we like it. In other words, we see it's valuable. If you right-click on the tab and you select duplicate, that is, now we have 2 searches for the same word, both within the Gospel of Matthew, but our search results are still going to be generated in this window because it's our targeted search pane. So follow me, we've got 2 searches, 2 identical searches here. Now if we do a third search for scribe, grammatus, now we have grammatus. Why is this changing back to all passages? I'm just going to try this. I think it was because I used this drop-down menu before. We'll search for kingdom. Yeah, so now it's staying. I just want to make sure it's staying. Search for grammatus. Yeah, so now it's staying with that search parameter. So we have this already searched in Matthew's Gospel. Now we're searching for other words in Matthew's Gospel. So we searched for grammatus. And we say, yes, that's the search result I want to keep in front of me. I want to keep that search running. So I will duplicate it. So now we have a search for grammatus, a search for mathituo, and we can just empty this one out. And so we have these two words, scribe and trained, actually the words behind them, search for in these two panes. And we can just keep doing this. So if we want to search for the word treasure, thesauros, and search for that, it returns the result in Matthew again. So we have multiple searches in the Gospel of Matthew now for 3 different Greek words. Okay, so that's a little bit about right-click searching. In our next tutorial, we will do the searches directly from the Greek text.